hope you guys like that intro. And yes, that will be the 2024 intro, unless, of course, someone comes up with a better intro. But either way, though. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. As always, I'm your host, Airsoft Al. Welcome to another Media Reviews. Now, I was going to do a sponsored review that was actually provided to us by our friends Wyatt Earp, but here's the thing. When I was going through Wattpad, I came across a suggested that legitimately caught my eye at first because of its interesting title, that being, of course, Overlord, the Beast of Nazarick. And when you have a snarling demonic wolf on the front of your cover, well, that does catch one's eye, and I decided to look into it. As I started reading into this, I don't know, I just didn't really kind of dig into it. I wasn't really clicking right away. It just, for some reason, felt generic in fanfiction. And I was about to basically not even cover it. Until a moment of the character's self-reflection clicked with me. The main character, who is the Beast of Nazarick, I don't even care about Ainz at the moment. I want to focus on the main character here, who is the Beast of Nazarick, is a veteran of World War III. Actually served in China. Actually saw the whole war through. And that clicked with me. And finally realized why I couldn't for some reason get into the character. Why I couldn't actually, I was having a hard time trying to understand this character is because I was looking at this character through the wrong lens. I was looking at this character like anyone else. I wasn't looking at this character as a veteran, and someone who clearly is dealing with issues, especially PTSD. Whether the author intended to or not, he has essentially created a character which we do not see a lot in Overlord. We do not see veteran characters who are dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder. We don't see a lot of veteran characters who actually reflect upon the wars and actually kind of talk about what they're going through. We don't really see that a lot in fiction. And that is what actually kind of endeared me to this character. Now, yes, the D&D sheet does state that this character is lawful evil. But in reality, there's a lot more that's going on with this character. Yes, it does go through the same paces as the canon plot, but there are some changes here and there, especially the fact that his domain is the Morrigan, which, again, if you do not understand Celtic mythology or lore, go ahead and Google that real quick and definitely have some fun with researching the Morrigan. And the fact that he actually does kind of cover this wolfic-like pack mentality type mythology, especially with wolves being the big thing. And it took me a minute to realize what kind of veteran this guy is and what his background was and why I started kind of understanding why this character's psychology is definitely the way it is. This guy, this main character, is a Marine veteran of World War III who served in the Pacific Theater. And if you think I'm kind of digging too deep into that, look at the evidence. In the story itself, he states that he served in the Pacific and was stationed in the Pacific. Not only that, but his whole aspect is, of course, devil dogs, demonic dogs, devil dogs, Marines, devil dogs, ooh-rah! That is the kind of guy he is. He is a Marine veteran. And that's something I think the author could definitely play into with this character. Now, a character that I genuinely did enjoy more from Far Cry 5. Don't get me wrong, Joseph Seed was a good character, but no. Jacob Seed was more my go-to for a villain. And I do enjoy military villains, or at least villains who are military veterans. And in this case, with this story, the beast that he is trying to... this character is trying desperately not to allow to take over, I think, is a representation of his guilt. What he had to do in war, what he did in World War III, the things he saw, the things he did. In my mind, that is a lot deeper and honestly a lot better. Or at least, in a sense, allows us to sympathize with this character. The reason I enjoy Jacob Seed as a villain is because, one, he's a military veteran, and even during a scene, a moment in Far Cry 5, gives us his origin.
I was in Iraq during the first Gulf War. 82nd Airborne All-Americans, hoorah! One night there was an ambush, and me and this guy named Miller got separated from the unit. No food, no radio. Nearest base, 200 clicks to the south, so we just started walking. Well, by the third day I knew we were lost. Day 6, ran out of water. You know what that's like, don't you? Difficult to swallow. On the 7th day, Miller's legs started going all wonky. Did you know your brain starts to eat your muscles in order to survive? That's why you're so goddamn skinny. And by the 8th day, the wolves were closing in. And I looked at Miller and I could tell we were as good as dead. And I accepted that. And in that acceptance came clarity. You see, I wasn't just looking at Miller. I was looking at an opportunity. It wasn't something I wanted. It was something that I had to do. It was my test. You see, Miller's sacrifice wasn't about me walking out of that desert. It was about bringing me here. The weak have their purpose. You'll understand that soon enough.
Joseph Seed, yes, is a good villain, but Jacob Seed is an exceptional villain. And I think the author can take some notes from Jacob Seed's character and kind of implement it into this character. The character, like I said, is trying to not allow the beast to take over. That beast being his military side, that PTSD that is digging at his mind. And clearly, he's trying his best to stay sane. If anyone, like myself, has known people who have suffered from PTSD, you know that a lot of times they will kind of slip out of reality back onto that battlefield. Because yes, they may have left, but they have not left. So, in a very deep sense, this character and this fic can be amazing and can be deep. In a very weird sense, this character that he has created and crafted could actually slip back into that military mindset, back into that Marine mindset, back into that battlefield. Even slip up with the NPCs of Nazarick and even have a moment where he could break down. Actually show a moment of weakness. Actually show that while, yes, his backstory is the one that he crafted for his character, he could also give an excuse and say that at one point he was another person. He was another warrior on a battlefield much worse and much bloodier. And he could basically try and heal. Yes, he could still be lawful evil and kind of go the route of Jacob Seed and kind of the strong, protect the weak, or the weak, serve the strong type deal, this sort of ultra-Darwinism. But, again, there's a lot that can be done with this, and I really don't want to spoil this because, again, I want you guys to read this yourself. And while, yes, it does have the whole script set up, I wish the guy didn't do that, but you know what? It's whatever. It's his writing style. It's whatever. But Overlord Beast of Nazarick can be a great story. Could be a great story, talking about veterans with PTSD, talking about, them kind of slipping in to the ultra-Darwinism. Even going as far as to kind of have a moment where Nazarick itself, between these two players, one who has never known war, and one that has known war, has served in war, has been in war, kind of just butt heads. Again, I don't want to use Far Cry as a great example, but Far Cry legitimately does have a good example here. If I keep going, I'm going to spoil a lot of this fic, but again, to the author who may be watching this, you've set up something really good. You have something that can be really good. And I want you to take the time and kind of explore this avenues that you've created. I would love to see what full background this could be, what kind of episodic breaks this guy could have, and how he could try and heal or allow the beast to take over. Legitimately, I look forward to what comes next. But till then, ladies and gentlemen, let me know in the comments section down below if you've read this, and now that with my explanation, if you have seen this, if you can't unsee it. And to the author, who obviously will be watching this, let me know in the comments section down below if I've given you some ideas, or if I've read way too deep into this. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to help out the channel, then consider checking out the links down below. Among those, of course, are some links to not just, of course, to some cool tracers, which, of course, are T238. They've got the normal, they got the Griffin being the compact, which actually does work pretty well, and, of course, this one, which basically fits Nerf, Airsoft, and Gel Ball. However, if tracers aren't your style, but things that go bang are, then check out, of course, Braytac's 9mm blank grenade kit. This thing takes Thunderbee grenades, which are normally CO2, and turns them into 9mm blank sound grenades. If you want to help out with future reviews, and of course other neat projects, such as of course helping us to get the Ace Magician mini PC, then check out the PayPal and Cash App down below. Or if you want to sponsor a media review, check out the tier list down below as well. And as always, ladies and gentlemen, I've been Airsoft Al, and I shall see all you lovely, lovely people in the next media review. Till next time. Later.